My name is Margo Camilleri. I am the CEO of Myteveg LLC. I'm also the chairman of the formation committee for the Central Coast Biodiesel Buyers Club. And Patric, who is my business partner, is planning director for Myteveg LLC, will also be helping out with the presentation. As an overview, I'm going to go over biodiesel basics, and we're also going to be discussing the Buyers Club mission and function. And then we're going to be discussing how we plan on funding all these activities that we're interested in doing. There's activities that are listed here. We're going to be buying biodiesel through the club, implementing a subsidy program, and then doing nonprofit education activities. And then we expect to have different funding sources because we'll be a nonprofit. We'll look for startup grants, for membership fees for the buyers, and donations and fundraising, obviously, activities, consulting fees. In other words, we're going to go provide our expertise and then maybe have a reasonable consulting fee that they maybe not be able to get out of industry, and then retail partnerships, and we'll talk about those later. And now there's several reasons why we want to use biofuels instead of fossil fuels. The fossil fuels are hydrocarbon, and it is taken out of the ground where it's been stored, and coal, oil, natural gas are fossil fuels. Biofuel is any fuel that's derived from biomass, recently living organisms, and their metabolic byproducts, and it can come from farming activities, recycling, and plant byproducts, etc. And the two that we know of pretty well is biodiesel and ethanol, and obviously we'll just talk about biodiesel today. The first reason would be to reduce the dependency on fossil fuels and foreign oil. The second reason would be to reduce emissions. We want to lower cancer and asthma rates, and then reduce impact on the environment. And then we want to improve energy security, make sure we have fuel when we need it. Obviously, petrodiesel is going to be very popular in developing nations and in China. So as soon as their economies start picking up, the price of diesel is going to go up because we don't have enough diesel to go around. And then we want to contribute to rural development through domestic production. In other words, we want to give our money to U.S. retailers, suppliers, producers, transportation companies, oil makers, and then farmers as well. And biodiesel allows us to do all of those things. Specifically, what is biodiesel? It's a monoalkylide ester of fatty acids. Basically, diesel replacement fuel produced from vegetable oils. It can also be produced from animal fat, from recycled cooking grease. And then biodiesel contains no petroleum products. It can also be used in a compression ignition diesel engine with little or no modifications. And it can be blended at any level with petroleum diesel. So it's considered an additive, and it can be blended from B1 to B99.9. B1 being 1% biodiesel, 99% petroleum. B99.9 meaning 99.9% biodiesel, and then just a little bit of diesel added in to get the blending credit. The physical properties of biodiesel are very similar to petrodiesel, and so they run in a conventional diesel engine basically the same. The difference between regular unrefined vegetable oil and biodiesel, there's a transesterification process that takes out the glycerin molecule, and they use methanol and a base catalyst, usually lye, to do the process. If you took it out of that decanter right there and put it right into your diesel engine, it would run, but you would have to do some conversions to your vehicle to make it happen. It's more viscous. It doesn't burn quite the same, so you're not getting the energy efficiency out of it as you would biodiesel. And then the engine conversions are very costly. It costs between $2,000 and $3,000 to convert your engine. And so with biodiesel, you don't have those added costs. We also find that straight vegetable oil can lead to engine carbon deposits, reduce engine life, and also increase your maintenance costs. There's also the issue of taxes. Straight vegetable oil and waste vegetable oil are classified as diesel fuel under the California Diesel Fuel Act tax law. So when it's sold and used in a diesel-powered highway vehicle, California diesel fuel tax rate is 18 cents per gallon, and the federal tax rate is 24 cents per gallon. Don't pay your taxes, and the IRS comes knocking on your door. They're going to require back payment of taxes for as long as they think you've been using the straight vegetable oil. They're going to fine you, and they're going to bill you quarterly if you are cited for using it without having paid the taxes. What we're looking at here is some storage facilities. They look very similar to regular pumps. And in fact, over here is a B20 pump, which they just stick right in with the regular diesel and other petroleum products they just sold. And the reason that they can do that is because B20 is allowed to be stored in underground tanks. Now, if you want to use B100, you have to store it in above ground tanks, and that's what you're looking at here. These are certified above ground tanks, fire guards, and these are approved by the International Fire Code. First benefit of biodiesel is that it's easy. There is really no transition required. You can put it into a conventional diesel engine, so you can use it for LDV, which is light diesel vehicles, and heavy diesel vehicles. You can use it in marine environment, and you can also use it in an interesting place, underground mining. And the reason it's being used in underground mining is because it is not as combustible as regular diesel fuel, and so it's a lot safer to put underground. We talked about conversion costs of straight vegetable oil. There's not quite the same conversion costs. There are some costs to make sure that your vehicle works with biodiesel. You don't want to have any rubber components. And so most of the vehicles that are older than 1994 will have rubber. Newer ones will have the Viditron components, so not natural rubber. The systems are already in place to implement biodiesel in a regular refueling infrastructure. So you can just go down the street and put it in your tank if the retailer has it. One of the other benefits is that it improves energy security. We're seeing, this slide is really just to show you that the demand on petrodiesel is going up. It has gone up, it's continued to go up, and then specifically most of the demand is in the transportation sector. In the United States, we don't have a lot of energy security. As our transportation demands go up, our access to petrol fuel goes down. There's been a 67% increase of transportation petroleum use from 1950 to 2000. Industrial, residential, commercial. So a lot of these four areas are using diesel a lot, and we are seeing less and less security in the fact that there's only so much petrodiesel to go around, and so the United States will be paying more to have access to more of this, and then we'll not only be paying more, we'll be looking for more and more of it, and so our energy security is going down and down because we will end up having to add cost to our transportation infrastructure, and then that adds cost to almost everything in commerce. So if you have to build it, ship it, to sell it, then the transportation costs will be included, will be going up.